Sai Ram. Just to recapitulate what we discussed last week, Swami is saying that to merge with the Lord, one has to transcend all the gunas and cultivate suguna, or good qualities. That is a jnani who falls into that category. Other sadhakas who are engaged in good sattvic activities are also sadhakas, but they may not be ready for complete merger with the Lord. So these were some of the concepts which we discussed last week. So I'll stop here and I will ask sisters to continue from where we left off. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram. Arjuna listened attentively to all this, and at the end he asked, O Lord, what are the qualities that a jnani should possess? Krishna replied, Partha, he must have the 20 virtues in ample measure. You might ask what they are. I shall tell you about them. Listen. But do not conclude that the goal can be reached when you have them all. The goal is immortality, amritatvam, that can be reached only by Brahma Shakshkara, experiencing Brahman as Sarvam Brahmam. When knowledge is full, the knower becomes the known. For this consummation, one has to be purified by virtues. Then the known can be experienced and realization reached. I shall therefore first tell you about this. Virtue first, then victory. What a splendid path to seek Brahman without first ensuring a moral and virtuous life is like desiring a flame without lamp or wick or oil. Acquire all these three, then you light it and get light. So it is with the light of Brahmanyana or realization of Brahman.
Thank you, Narmada. So this is what we had discussed. Anyone who would like to comment or share something, please go ahead.
Can we read the Telugu?
Arjunudu, Arun, can you translate it from wherever you are? Hello, Arun. Arun is not there.
Yes, Auntie. Yes, Auntie.
Can you translate when I read it in Telugu?
Okay, Auntie.
Okay. Arjunudu అన్నియు సావధానముగా విని తర్వాత
Arjuna listened to everything attentively, patiently, and then
స్వామి జ్ఞానికి ఏ గుణములు ఉండవలెను?
Swami, for jnani, what type of qualities should be there?
దానికి పరమాత్మ పార్థ అమానిత్వాది 20 గుణములు పూర్తిగా ఉండవలెను.
So for that, the Lord said, O Partha or Arjuna, there should be 20 superhuman qualities or qualities beyond humanness should be there for the jnani.
Yeah. అవి ఏమని నీవు అడగవచ్చును?
You may ask what they are.
చెప్పేదను విను. I'm going to tell you, listen. అవి పూర్తిగా ఉండినంత మాత్రమున తన పని పూర్తి అయినది తలంచకూడదు. Yeah. even if you have these qualities, 20 qualities in full ample measure, that doesn't mean that you have attained the goal. That is the don't think that you have reached the goal.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, please go ahead. Please go ahead, Arun. Please.
Yeah, you go ahead, Auntie, because if my signal is not very good, I may not be able to translate, but you go ahead. You translate to the extent possible. Go ahead.
Okay.
If I miss you, please fill it up.
Okay. జ్ఞేయముగు బ్రహ్మ సాక్షాత్కారము కలిగిన మాత్రముననే అమృతత్వము కలుగును. When you reach that జ్ఞేయ, that is the goal, when you reach is that immortality, జ్ఞాన గుణము పూర్తి అయిన జ్ఞేయముగు బ్రహ్మ సాక్షాత్కారం కలిగిన మాత్రముననే అమృతత్వము కలుగును. Only when you reach that amritatvam, immortality, you need that brahma sakshatkaramu. No, sorry. Gneyamagu brahma sakshatkaramu kaligina matramunane. Only when you attain that brahma sakshatkara, you get that immortality. Okay? The goal is immortality and you will get it that. Gnana gunamu purti ainane జ్ఞేయములో ప్రవేశ అర్హత కలుగును. When you have complete knowledge about gnana, only then you can say you have the right to, you have the ability to enter into Gneya. Brahma, that can be reached only by Brahma Sakshatkara, experiencing Brahman. Yeah. Gnana Gunamuలలో ఏ ఒక్కటి లేకపోయినను, if you don't have what, yeah.
If you don't have even one quality,
yeah. జ్ఞేయములో ప్రవేశింప వీలుండదు.
One cannot enter the Jnaya, that which is to be known.
అందువలననే జ్ఞాని సుగుణములను తెలుసుకొని,
because of that, what are good qualities, knowing that,
తదుపరి జ్ఞేయమును అనుబడు సాక్షాత్కారమును అనుభవించ ప్రయత్నించు.
So after that, he will make efforts to attain the Jnaya, or the thing which is to be known, which is Sakshatkara, which is manifestation of the Lord.
ప్రయత్నించుటకు వీలుండునని మొదట జ్ఞానమును తెలుపుచున్నాను. I am going to tell you the జ్ఞాన first. Knowledge, only when the knowledge is full, knower becomes the known. So first I am going to tell you what జ్ఞాన is. Aha, ఎంత చక్కని మార్గము. What a beautiful way of explaining to me. Arjuna is saying, మొదట నీతిని నిష్ఠను ఉపదేశించక పూర్వమే బ్రహ్మము ఉపదేశించుట. సారీ, మొదట నీతిని నిష్ఠను, రూల్స్ అండ్ రెగ్యులేషన్స్, ఉపదేశించక, బిఫోర్, వితౌట్ టీచింగ్ those rules, బ్రహ్మమును ఉపదేశించుట. If I start teaching about you Brahma, like తైలము వత్తి ప్రమిదయు లేకనే దీపమును వెలిగించ ప్రయత్నించినట్లు ఉండును. So you need oil, you need the wick, you need the earthen lamp to light a jyoti. But if I start saying you only the rules and regulations, that will not help you to get Brahma Gnana. Yeah. To seek Brahman without first ensuring moral and virtuous life is like desiring a flame. Yeah. First of all, to seek Brahman, we need certain ensuring moral and virtuous life is
moral and discipline. Nishtha. Niti means morality. Nishtha means I think discipline, rules and regulations, following them.
Virtuous life is written here.
Religious kind of virtues.
So to seek Brahman without these qualifications is like desiring to light a flame without the lamp, wick or oil. He is comparing this with that So virtuous first, then victory. Virtue first, then victory. Acquire all these three, then you light it and get right. So it is with the light of Brahma Gnana or realization of Brahman. తైలాదులు మూడును సిద్ధము చేసిన తదుపరి బ్రహ్మజ్ఞాన జ్యోతి వెలుగును. When you get this taila, that is oil, wick and the lamp, if they are ready, then only brahmajnana jyoti will be lighted. Ichata sadhakulu, oh, that you have not.
We have not read Auntie. I don't know whether we need to read the next paragraph also.
Okay, you can. Ichata sadhakulu ati jagrataga vicharinpavalennu.
At this point, the sadhakas have to inquire properly with extra care.
ఏమన్నా వత్తి నూనె ప్రమిద సమాన స్థితిలో ఉండవలెను.
The three items, which is the wick, the oil, and the lamp, have to be in an equilibrium state.
అనగా వత్తి ప్రమిద చిన్నవై నూనె అధికమైనను జ్యోతి వెలగదు.
If the wick or the oil, if it is too much, it will not light properly.
వత్తి ప్రమిద పెద్దైనను నూనె తక్కువ ఉండిన జ్యోతి వెలగదు.
Even if something is less, if the oil is less, then also the lamp will not burn.
ఒకదానికి తగినట్లు మరొకటి ఉండినప్పుడే సమాన ప్రమాణములు కలిగినప్పుడే స్వచ్ఛమైన వెలుతురును అనుభవించగలదు.
Each of them should be commensurate with the other at the appropriate quantity or quality.
సమాన ప్రమాణములు కలిగినప్పుడే when they are in equal
proportional state. When they are in equal proportion, then they will work.
అప్పుడు స్వచ్ఛమైన వెలుతురు అనుభవించగలరు. You will be able to see.
Enjoy the pure light. Enjoy the pure light.
There the paragraph ends.
I think in English we have not read. Maybe the sisters have to read that paragraph also.
Yeah. Any question about these things you can ask.
Yes, please.
You can
Should we go? Yeah, okay. There's one point here which sadhakas have to note carefully. The lamp, the wick, and the oil must be proportionate. If the wick is too big for the lamp or too small, if the oil is too much or too little for the wick, if the lamp is too small or too huge for the oil or the wick, the flame will not burn brightly and give light. Clear, steady light can be secured only when all three are in proper proportion. The three gunas too must be in equilibrium to yield maximum result, the result of liberation. The three gunas are bonds. Man is bound by them like a cow whose forelegs are tied together, whose hind legs too are bound, and whose neck and horns are bound by a third bond. The threefold gunas are such threefold bonds. How can the poor beast move freely when it is bound so? The sattva guna is a golden rope, the rajoguna a copper rope, and tamoguna an iron rope. All three bind effectively in spite of the difference in the cost of material. As bonds, all three are obstacles to freedom of movement.
Yeah, you can read further.
Okay. Arjuna asked, "O Lord, you said that 20 virtues are essential for becoming entitled to jnana. Which are they? Please describe them to me in some detail." Krishna said, "Arjuna, I am delighted at your earnestness. Listen."
I think Narmada, can you stop here, please?
Yeah.
the next paragraph is going to involve a lot of discussion and explanation. So, you want me to read the Telugu one? Kalyani?
Maybe we could discuss, Auntie, and then
Okay.
if there's anything to discuss. On...
Okay, okay.
So sorry, in the previous the last paragraph we read last week, Swami was saying the jnani, for the jnani, good qualities are very important. And for the sadhaka, jnana and jnana are very important. And I just wanted to remember, were we saying that the jnani is also a sadhaka? So he also needs those two, but in addition, he needs the good qualities?
I think sadhaka has reached his status that is gnani. He has already become a gnani, but he also has gone through all these qualities. He has come up to that level of gnani. Yeah. What others what Arun can say about it?
No, I think just to correct from last week, yeah, as Auntie has said, Jnani has mastered the jnana to a great extent, and he's also focused on the jnana, but the sakshatkara may have not resulted yet. So for that, the sugunas seem to be essential for the jnani to practice. So that's what Swami is sort of saying in this paragraph, that knowing that one has to attain jnana, one has to cultivate knowing what the sugunas are. So that's what, from my understanding. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Others can share their things.
Even in Telugu translation, Swami is saying, Gnani sugunamulanu telusukoni, knowing all the good qualities, tadupari, afterwards, Jneyamandu sakshatkarmanu, he reaches that sakshatkara, he is able to enjoy that or experience that. He will try to prayantinchutaku veelundunani modata gnanamunu teluputunnanu. So why I am teaching gnana first is, even the gnani needs some of the good qualities, which he is going to explain in the next paragraph. So he should know all these attributes, and then he has the capability to enter into the Brahma Sakshatkara. He can try, of course, prayatninchuku veelu undunu. So there is enough chance for him to reach that Brahma Sakshatkara. So Krishna is saying, I am going to tell you first what Gnana is. Sairam.
So is it like because so as a sadhaka we may know theoretically what is the jnana and what is jnana, but if we haven't had sakshatkara, that means we have to cultivate the suguna.
Yeah. Gnani has to cultivate satsuguna. He has not reached the Brahma Sakshatkara yet. So for that he needs a few attributes, few suguna, good qualities he has to have. Only then he has a right to enter into that Brahma Sakshatkara.
I think Sakho Auntie, you can speak.
Yeah.
I don't have that. I'll see that.
I have a question. Last week we learned that Jnani has to pay more attention to these gunas, the three gunas. And here Baba is saying that the three gunas has to be in under control, and because they are like bonds. I would like actually whatever we read today, somebody to summarize, because it's we have to know clearly to go further. Without knowing, it's not right for us to continue. So please, we are learning about Jnani, and Jnani should have all the 20 virtues. And then Baba says about the three gunas. So all these things we have to make it more clearer, and somebody should explain to us much clearer.
Sakuji,
Yeah,
what Swami is here in the first paragraph, what he is saying is about the 20 gunas. He has not yet revealed those gunas.
I know.
But here what he means is he should have those 20 gunas. A Jnani, to reach that Brahma Sakshatkara,
Yeah.
he needs all these 20 gunas.
Yes.
So now regarding those three, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, I don't think he is referring to them now.
No.
No, I don't think so.
So
I mean,
in the first paragraph it says, when knowledge is full, the knower becomes the known. That is the Brahma Tattva period, right?
Yeah, when the knowledge is full. How is that knowledge is going to be full unless he has got 20,
yeah, that's what I want to know.
20 virtues? First of all, he has reached Nani stage, but he has not yet reached Brahma Sakshatkara.
Yeah.
So to reach that Brahman, to have that experience of Brahma Sakshatkara, he has to have these 20 virtues in ample measure.
Yeah.
The first paragraph, that is what he says. Only then the knowledge is full.
Yeah.
And then he knows what is that Brahma Sakshatkara.
And then he talks about the three gunas. They have to be all in equal proportion.
In proper proportions.
Not one more, not one.
Just like he gives the illustration example of that wick and the lamp and the oil. If it is too much of oil, the wick is not. Wick is small, it's not. If the lamp is also big and the oil is very little, even then the flame will not burn.
Yeah.
So he gives that illustration.
That's very clear. But the thing is, what I want to know, what sattvic guna, if it's more, is that what is sadguna?
No, Sakuji, I think for the time...
They are different?
For the time being, what...
Sattvic guna and sadguna?
Arun, can you explain, please? Sairam.
Sairam, you have explained the three gunas. I think last time also we discussed the three gunas have the tendency to one becoming more rather becoming less. So there may be some good activities which we do. That is the influence of the gunas. But here Swami is talking about suguna, which is beyond those three gunas of up and down, that tendency to be influenced by the other two gunas also. One person may be sattvic predominantly, but if the other two gunas are also present to some extent, the person is still in the grip of the gunas. So that's why Swami is talking.
Sadguna is beyond three gunas.
So Swami, when we read those 20 gunas, that time we can discuss whether we are, whether it falls to anything.
Yeah. Sakuji, please wait for those 20 gunas. Swami is going to explain. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, Mati, I'll just add one piece here. So in this context, we have, like earlier we have read about Arti, Artharti, Jignasu, Jnani.
Yeah.
All of them ultimately are on that path, like the sadhakas, to know the absolute, which is the Brahma Sakshatkara.
Yeah.
So, and even when we are at the Jnani stage, that's where Swami is saying that even when we get to the level of being Jnani, Swami says he must have the 20 virtues in ample measure. But it's not about once you have all of that, it is complete kind of a thing. So what, maybe of course Swami will explain more on that, but ultimately it should lead to a state of balance which is where we were telling last time also. It is not about having even Sattva Guna more than Rajo Guna or Tamo Guna. It is about the balance of all the three gunas in such a manner that the balance sheet is nil. Because if we have Sattva Guna, it means we have positive account in our credit in our balance sheet.
yeah.
So we will have to come back to take care of the credit.
Okay.
That is where what we have discussed earlier in terms of karma palatyaga,
Very
all
good.
that comes. So
Thank you.
yeah, so we go to that stage of all the three being in balance. Then it becomes Suguna, where completely we are beyond the three gunas, is the state of Suguna, because it is all three are balanced. And that state is Brahma Sakshatkara. But for that, even as the penultimate stage of the Jnani, becoming the Brahman, the 21 attributes and so on, I think Swami will detail.
Okay. Clear. Thank you. Thank you to Bhashavanti. Thank you to Sai Centres. Thank you. God bless you.
So Swami is further saying here, to seek Brahman, first of all, ensure that a moral and virtuous life is very important. To seek Brahman without first ensuring moral and virtuous life is like desiring a flame. That is lamp without lamp, wick or oil, without lamp, wick or oil. So Swami is putting a lot of importance about having a moral and virtuous life. Even if he is a Gnani, even if he has gone beyond all these three gunas, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, but he has to have those 20 virtues.
Okay. Thank
Sai
you.
Ram.
Sai Ram.
What about the next paragraph? If anybody.
So the wick, the oil, and the lamp is referring to the three gunas. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think it is he refers to three gunas.
Yeah, that is correct, sister, because like what Auntie also was saying, I think you need the lamp, the oil, and the wick to be in proportionate manner. So that way, one is not more than the other. The wick is not more than the oil is not overflowing from the lamp. Everything is in proper measure, which I think leads to a state of Suguna, and that Suguna burns bright in the form of the lamp. That is Brahma Sakshatkara, which is reflected by the knowledge of that self. So I think you need to have all the three for the thing to last in an eternal fashion.
I think you may have explained this, but just to, because this is the one that we did last week, where Swami saying that the sadhaka for the sadhaka, the jnana and the jnana are important. And for the jnani, suguna is important.
For
So I'm just,
Suguna is important. Yeah.
it just seems a little bit like, doesn't the sadhaka need first because Swami's saying here, first you need the rules and the regulations, then you can understand jnana. So shouldn't it be the other way around, like the sadhaka that's beginning should cultivate the suguna first and then worry about jnana and jnana?
But Kalyani, Swami is here saying, Gnani sugunamulanu telusukoni tadupari, even after that, Jneya manubadu sakshatkaramanu, he is fit for experiencing the Brahma Sakshatkara only when he cultivates all these gunas, Swami is saying. Even for a Gnani. What you are saying is before becoming a Gnani, he has to have, sadhaka has to have these gunas. You are saying like that, no?
That's right. Yeah. How did he become a jnani without the good qualities?
But, Kalyani, so listen, we are getting confused because those 20, Swami is referring to that 20 virtues which he has not said so far. Every time when he says, Suguna is also those 20 virtues.
Right.
Good attributes, good qualities, good virtues. So, unless for a sadhaka, he has got other methods to reach that stage. He goes through the japa, meditation, the worship and all those things, and he has got to do that tapas-like thing to reach that sadhaka stage. After sadhaka stage also, he has to work very hard to get the gnani stage. And even gnani has to have these 20 qualities to reach Brahman.
And just to add to what Auntie is saying, sister, to reach to a stage where the trigunas are in proportion is the ultimate, right? It is something like getting the graduation. So if we have to go from the primary level of education, then it would be moving from a state of tamas to rajas, moving from the state of rajas to sattva, and then from the state of being in sattva, you move to a state of shuddha sattva, which is suguna. That's what last time also we had discussed. So we know, like Swami mentioned about the earthen pot, the multicolored lantern, and the pure lantern, right? So in terms of evolution also, it would go from being that kind of tamasic, rajasic, sattvic to suguna in terms of a logical progression, because when you get to the stage of shuddha sattva or the absolute parabrahman, it leads to completely being attributeless or beyond the trigunas. So to learn something beyond the trigunas, I think would be the graduation stage. So for us, we have to go through the elementary, the primary, secondary, and all of that. So that's where I think the gradual progression happens for a sadhaka as they go from the state of the unripe fruit to a ripe fruit of a jnani. But I think that when the ripe fruit has to really fall off, then it becomes completely completely proportionate in forms of the triguna, like in terms of how it moves in the process of evolution.
Thank you.
So these 20 qualities that Krishna is going to start talking about, are those suguna, or is that something, are those the suguna that Swami is referring to?
Even suguna means what? Good attributes. So guna is qualities.
Suguna, yes.
Suguna.
But is it also like these are the qualities that arise from that shuddha sattva state?
If you reach the shuddha sattva stage, sorry. Shuddha sattva stage, then you can, he is supposed to cultivate these 20 qualities, 20 gunas.
Okay.
And at the same time, Swami, I think here, that line, Auntie, can you just translate that in Telugu, Auntie, where Swami is saying, but do not conclude that the goal can be reached when you have them all.
Yeah, one.
Yes, Auntie.
Let me read. Partha, అమానిత్వాది 20 గుణములు పూర్తిగా ఉండవలను. They have to be complete. That amanitva, it begins with amanitva. The first quality is amanitva. That's abhimana, without abhimana. And the 20 gunas further it goes. But Swami is saying here, 20 గుణములు పూర్తిగా ఉండవలను. All those 20 quality attributes must be full. అవి ఏమని నీవు అడగవచ్చును. You may ask me, what are those qualities? చెప్పేదను విను. I am going to tell you. Listen. అవి పూర్తిగా ఉండినంత మాత్రమున తన పని పూర్తి అయినదని తలంచకూడదు. Here also Swami is saying. Can you, Sai Satish, can you say that? You wanted that,
Yes, Auntie. That is, yeah.
అవి పూర్తిగా ఉండినంత మాత్రమున తన పని పూర్తి అయినది అని తలంచకూడదు.
Yeah, he should not conclude that his work is complete by knowing that he has all of those qualities in him.
Yeah.
In full, is that right?
Goal
even if he has those qualities.
The goal
Purti,
is
in full, correct. Yeah, yes, sister. Sorry, Auntie.
The goal is immortality. Do not conclude that the goal can be reached when you have all of them. And what else Swami is saying us to do? they can be reached only by Brahma Sakshatkara, experiencing Brahman as Sarvam Brahman. When knowledge is full, knower becomes the known. Then he puts this thing there, Swami is saying, if you have all these 20 qualities also, don't think that your goal is reached. So with these, by practicing these 20 attributes, one has to be purified by those virtues. Then only the known can be experienced. So just by knowing them, just by knowing those qualities, you are not going to get that Brahma Sakshatkara or Amritattva. It is by practicing, it is by purifying. Only to be purified by those virtues, the mind should be completely bereft of all those small, what is called defects. Only then you can become ready for Brahma Sakshat.
That means absolute purity.
Purity is explained. No, the purpose in saying this, do not conclude that the goal can be reached when you have all of them. That is where we are now stuck.
Yes, Auntie. Actually, I was going to take the help of Swami's discourse that we read at the center today.
Oh.
And Swami was speaking in that discourse about 5 forms of knowledge. And he said the first is bookish knowledge. Second is superficial knowledge. Third is general knowledge. Fourth is discriminatory knowledge. And fifth is practical knowledge. And to that practical knowledge, Swami gave a lot of importance. Like Swami was giving a question when I ask people here, where is God? They say God is in me. But what Swami was saying is, have they really experienced it in terms of having that practical knowledge? It is more like most of the times it is like bookish knowledge or superficial knowledge, which is just gathered. But if it is practical knowledge, it has to be experienced. And only when it is experienced and like assimilated in the person does it truly reflect. So I think even as the sadhaka goes to the jnani and the jnani also goes forward ahead, of course, in jnani, the brightness of those qualities are shining more bright in each of the qualities that may be needed. But ultimately, I think when we get to the stage of Brahma Sakshatkara, it is literally those qualities are in such a measure that they are overflowing. It is, Swami gives the example of this balloon, Auntie. He says that inside the balloon there is air, outside the balloon there is air. Inside air of the balloon is love towards kith and kin, family, friends, and so on. But when the balloon bursts, the air inside merges with the air outside. And that is where Swami says is true love, which you have as love for the whole world. So I think that is where it comes to a point where we don't restrict ourselves, but go beyond the point of embracing the whole thing, where I feel even the point of view of what qualities are, the qualities also, we end up going beyond the qualities, because they give this example of in the Yajna Kundam, you have 3 steps. The lowermost step is tamas. The second step is rajas. The penultimate step on the top is sattva. And beyond these 3 steps is in the center is the agni. So we have to go, which is formless and that kind of a thing. So you have to go beyond the 3. So even here, I think, even as the qualities in the jnani shine bright with those 20 qualities, ultimately it has to go beyond those qualities also. So they are not defined by that, and they become truly one with the formless and attributeless. So I think that is where the thing is breaking free of those shackles, where the balloon really bursts, there is no restriction and everything becomes one. So just wanted to share in the context of what we read in Swami's discourse today as well.
Yeah, so we can compare this practical knowledge as to that those knowing only the 20 virtues, knowing, but unless you put that into practice and then experience it, then you are not yet ready for the Brahma Sakshatkara. That's what I understand.
Yeah, I
Mm.
think that is what I wanted to ask. It is not knowing, not the knowledge that matters. How much we are intaking and making it part of our own self.
Yes.
That not you are not the judges. Others should be able to see what you are experiencing within. That will spread outside.
Okay.
That,
And
that experience is the thing that Sadish was saying, like how balloon has to burst out and merge with the outside air. That's how our experiences should be seen by others and they should experience. And we should be merging with them, with the outside, the universal energy.
But first you have to experience yourself.
I
Then-
know, it's a
Without the
big
others
step.
will ex-
It's a big step, not easy.
So
Yeah.
Swami is here saying that in the paragraph, virtue first, then victory.
Yeah.
Virtue first. So cultivate all those virtues which he is going to tell us, and then only you can feel that you have won.
20 virtues.
20 virtues. We are going to moral virtues.
It's like walking on a razor blade.
Edge. Okay.
And sorry, Swami's referring to these gunas as jnana guna, is that right? Like
Kama?
Swami's referring to these gunas as jnana guna?
Ka amanitvadi gnana guna illa. It is not that. Amanittvamani 20 gunamulu. Just he says 20 attributes are there. 20 virtues.
A few sentences later, Auntie, that
Hmm.
jnana gunamu purti ayana.
Gnana gunama purti ainane. You can, Swami is calling it as gnana guna. Let us take it that way. Okay. Gnana gunamu. Swami is calling them as gnana gunam. In English, I don't think it has got. Gnani should possess, that's all he says, but he doesn't say. It is gnani guna. In Telugu, we have got that. Yeah.
Auntie, will jnana gunam, I'm just trying to understand, will it mean like the attributes of a jnani, or like something like qualification kind of a thing that you use to see that?
Sai Satish, it is, Swami is saying, Gnana gunamu purti ainane jneyamulo pravesha arhata kalugunu. He gets the right capacity to get into it. Gnana gunamulalo ye okkati lekapaineno. That's now what he is going to explain in further in those 20 attributes. Even among those 20, one is absent. He cannot reach the Gnaya. Praveshimpa Vilundano. So
and it has to be full.
20 attributes are very, very important for a Gnani to enter into Brahma Sakshatkara. Not only knowing them, but he has to experience it. He has to purify himself by those virtues. He says, for this consummation, one has to be purified by these virtues. Only then known can be experienced.
Yes, Andy, thank you. Yeah.
So I'm saying even if you are missing even one, you cannot enter jnana.
You will not be able to enter into that. You will not get that arahata, deservedness.
I think, sister, it's more like even as we go through all this primary, secondary, and tertiary education, you come to the level of, I think, postgraduate or whatever thing. Even there, you have to pass all the subjects to earn your degree. So literally, you have to pass in those
Get your
20 subjects.
PhD.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so 20 virtues and in full. It has to be full, not even we cannot lack in even one.
Yeah,
Yes,
one
Aunty.
one cannot be missed.
This is
Re-
out of
Yeah, reward for good work is more work always. So reward for goodness is being more good.
so young people have more time to work on this.
Sakkuji, we
Yes.
have more time. We have more time rather than young people. Young people have got so many responsibilities. They have to go to office. They have to take care of their families. We are free. We should do.
We are free, yeah. I
We
know.
should do.
When I have, every time I think these children are going to office work and they have to take care of their family, everything. Their responsibility more.
More.
Duty, I mean, duty is more, and we are retired, yes, but still the lifespan is little shorter.
Okay. Kalani, if everybody is fine, let's move on to the next one.
Yeah. First, so we are going to learn about the first virtue.
Yeah.
Okay. The first
But-
virtue is, sorry, Han.
These gunas, Swami Gunas explains in a different way, you see. It is just like binding a cow with the 4 legs
Yes, yes.
as well as the back and the horns. The 3 gunas, Sattva, Rajas, Guna are the same bonds. One is a golden bond, Sattva, and the one is the second one is a proper bond, a copper bond, Rajoguna, and then Tamoguna is like an iron rope.
Iron.
Yeah, iron rope. Which with whatever rope you bind something, it is you're bound. That's all. Swami is saying that.
So, as per Sai Sadis, for Rajas Guna, Tamas Guna, Rajas Guna, then we come to the Sattvic Guna. We are getting more, we are having more Sattvic Guna. That also we have to bring
Yeah.
it all to the same level. Otherwise, we will have credit and debit. Yeah. First,
sir.
that is the first step. 3 gunas.
They're all bonds. As bonds, all the 3 are the same. Obstacles to freedom.
Pasakairu.
Yeah, whether you bind it with golden rope or with
By
copper rope.
whichever rope. That's Pasakairu.
Rope, the rope.
All are heavy.
Okay, I think now the second paragraph, Arjuna asks,
Why Krishna kept all this for the last? This is all last minute. He's bringing all this difficult stuff for us to.
if he had told us in the beginning itself,
Yeah, we could have
No,
got
no.
at least.
Sakkuji, we were not ready. We were not ready for it.
I
Now
know. So how many
maturity
works
has
have we had to
come.
take?
Maturity has come for us, to us, so that we understand what Swami is trying to tell us.
Because Baba came, we have been brought to this level.
Okay, Narmada, I think you can read further.
The first virtue is amanitvam, pridelessness. Amanitvam, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Pridelessness.
Auntie, we didn't translate. I don't know if you were able to, but from the
The bonds, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Should I read it in Telugu, Kalyani?
sure, Auntie. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think we read it in English either, so I don't know if Norma that you want to read it in English.
Which one, Amma?
The first
Did we-
Read,
Oh, you
Right.
read the whole first paragraph.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
read
So
the
then
whole.
we'll just do the
but,
Telugu part.
only the last I didn't read.
Oh, okay.
సో అటులనే పై 3 గుణములను సమస్థితి అందు ఉండిననే జ్ఞాన జ్యోతిని పొందగలదు. దట్ వీ హ్యావ్ డిస్కస్డ్. ఆల్ ది 3 గుణాస్ షుడ్ బి ఇన్ ఈక్విలిబ్రియం, ఇన్ ప్రాపర్ పోర్షన్. దాని ద్వారా మోక్షానందమును అనుభవించగలరు. త్రూ దాట్ ఎ పర్సన్ ఈజ్ ఏబుల్ టు ఎంజాయ్ దట్ మోక్ష ఆనంద. మోక్ష ప్రాప్తికై పై 3 గుణములలో ఏ ఒక్కటి ఉంటేనను ప్రకృతి జన్య దేహములో బంధించు 3 గుణములు 3 బంధనలే. మోక్ష ప్రాప్తికై, బికాస్ వీఆర్ కల్టివేటింగ్ దీస్ 3 గుణాస్, రజస్ తమస్, ట్రై టు కీప్ ఇట్ ఇన్ ప్రాపర్ బ్యాలెన్స్. ఏ ఒకటి ఉండినను ప్రకృతి జన్య దేహములో బంధించు 3 గుణములు 3 బంధనలే. Even if you have even one guna, that is among the 3 sattva rajas tamas, if even one you have, it's just like a bond, it's like a rope which binds you. Then he explains, పశువునకు ముందు కాళ్ళు రెండును ఒక పగ్గముతో కట్టివేసి.
Sorry, Auntie, what does this part mean? Prakriti janya dehamulo?
Prakriti janya, it's this deha, this body which is born of Prakriti. This body, the body what we have is born of all the sattva.
Bandinju.
I think Aruna is talking. Hello? Sai Satish was talking?
No, Auntie, I don't know if somebody else.
Prakriti janya dehamu. We are this body because of the sattva rajas guna, sattva rajas tamas guna.
So that's something the thing. Then the rest of it, bandinchu, mudu, guna, mulu, mudu, bandanale.
All the 3 bonds are binding us.
Okay.
All the 3 are binding us.
Binding the body?
Binding the body. So just like he gives the example of that cow, what is it? Cow, whose 4 legs are tied, and then the hind legs are tied, and the horns are tied. So these 3 bonds, there are 3 bonds, whatever you call it, whether it is sattva guna is a golden rope, rajoguna is a copper rope, and tamoguna is an iron rope. All the 3, they bind a person.
The jiva now, Auntie. They bind the jiva.
Jiva. And what he is Swami is prakriti janyamaina dehamu. This deha is, this sharira is made up of all the 3 gunas. So it binds us. Whether it is sattva guna, even sattva guna is also binding us. Last time you remember you said even the small quantity of sattva guna is also, even if we reach that sattva guna, we are having the remnants of those rajas and tamas in us. That's what you were telling, no? Same here. So Swami is there.
So we were just saying that the 3 gunas bind the jiva. So I'm just trying to understand the sentence. Is it saying that the prakriti janya deha is the one being bound?
Yeah. Sharira means all the physical body, not only physical body, all our inner bodies, our subtle body as well as the karana sharira, all of them are bound.
Okay.
All of them are bound. Okay.
And then Auntie, that sentence, e bandana undinanu.
ఏ బంధన ఉండినను స్వతంత్రుడు కాలేదు. Whatever bandhana, whatever bond you have, you cannot be free. You cannot be free with any one of them binding you. అటులనే మానవునకు సత్వ రజస్తమో గుణములు 3 బంధించు తాళ్ల వంటివి. Just like that, it is a 3. These 3 gunas are just like those ropes which bind you. బంధించు తాళ్ల వంటివి. సత్వగుణము కూడాను త్రాడే. త్రాడు means rope in Telugu. త్రాడు is Telugu is rope. సత్వగుణము కూడాను తాడే బంధనే. సత్వము బంగారు త్రాడు వంటిది, రజస్సు రాగి త్రాడు వంటిది, తమస్సు ఇనుపు త్రాడు వంటిది. So just like how Swami has explained here, this sattva-guna is a golden rope, rajoguna is a copper rope, and tamoguna is an iron rope. So you తాళ్ల విలువ హెచ్చు తగ్గులుంటనే కానీ బంధన దృష్టిలో 3 స్వేచ్ఛారహిత సాధనములే. తాళ్ల విలువ హెచ్చు తగ్గులుండును కానీ one may be what he means is here, this maybe sattva-guna is more and rajoguna is come, or rajoguna is more and sattva-guna is less. So there may be differences. Hecchu taggu means there may be differences But bandhana is bandhana. It's binding means binding. So
And
మూడును స్వేచ్ఛారహిత సాధనములే. They all are obstacles to freedom.
Sairam, Aunty. Sairam,
Sairam.
I just want to confirm these three gunas are binding the physical body, subtle body, and causal body. Is that
Of course, all the three.
all three? Okay.
And to what Auntie was saying, Tradlu Viluva, meaning in terms of, we know Sattva Guna Swami has equated it to gold rope and
Yeah.
Rajo to copper and Tamo to iron. So in terms of the value of the gold, definitely the gold rope is more
Valuable.
more valuable than the copper or iron. But what Swami is stressing on, that know that even gold is binding you, because ultimately it's a rope. It may be more valuable, but at the end of the day, that is also going to bind.
Correct. Viluva means value.
Value.
Viluva. So
Sorry, Ann, yeah.
no, please go ahead.
I was just going to say, so even for if a person feels that, oh, I am spiritual, then that also is a problem. Like in the sense, ultimate sense, that can also become a hindrance, because it is binding that person to the fact that I am spiritual. So the I must literally not exist. Yeah.
Yes, correct. Okay. Can we go further?
Sure, Auntie. Sure, Narmada, you can read that.
Narmada is there, or you are reading?
Yeah, I'm here.
The first virtue. Start the from.
The first virtue is amanitvam, pridelessness, humility. So long as you have manam or pride, you cannot earn jnana. Man's behavior should be like the behavior of water. Whatever color you pour into water, it absorbs it and it never asserts its own color. It is humble, without conceit. But now the behavior of man is quite contrary. When he does the smallest service or donates the slightest amount, he is anxious that people should know about it. For this, he himself goes about flattering or arranges to get it published. The absence of such pride and ambition is what recommended as amanitvam.
Yeah. Yeah, in Telugu, Swami says, Arjunudu Vishayamaluno Telusukora Kori. Arjuna asked Bhagawan Krishna, Amanitwadi 20 గుణములు పూర్తిగా కలిగి ఉండిననే జ్ఞాని కాగలనని అంటిది. Krishna, you told me that only the person, the gnani, who has all these 20 attributes, amanitva, etc., he is the only, he has got that right to. Kaligi undinane gnani kagaladani antiri. You are saying about the 20 attributes of the gnani. Can I know that? ఎట్టి 20 గుణములు ఏవియో వాటిని ఒక్కొక్కటిగా విపులముగా తెలుసుకొని ధన్యుడను కాగలను. I will be very blessed if you can tell me, and all those 20 virtues. He is saying that. Arjuna, నీ శ్రద్ధకు నాకెంతయో ఆనందము. I am very happy. I am very happy to know that you are so curious to know about this. Vinumu, listen. Anuchu, saying that అప్పటికి మాధవుడు కృష్ణ మాధవ పార్థునకు అమానిత్వాది గుణములను విశదపరచుటకు ఉపక్రమించను. He started explaining to Partha about the amanitva, etc., those attributes. మొదటిది అమానిత్వము. First one is amanitva. అనగా అభిమానము లేకుండట. Without any abhimana, without any pride. మానమున్నంత వరకు జ్ఞానము కలుగదు. When you have this abhimana, when you have this pride, you will not get the gnana. Manavani vruttulu neetivale undavalnu. The man's virtue, man's should be like, his behavior should be like a water. Neetivale undavalnu. Ante neetilo ఏ రంగు చేర్చినా నీరు ఆ రంగుగా మారును. When you add any color to that clear water, it gets that color. ఆ రంగుతో నీరు చేరిపోను. The color merges in the water. నీటికి అభిమానము శూన్యము. For water there is no abhimana, there is no pride at all for the water. మానవుని ప్రవృత్తి దీనికి పూర్తిగా విరుద్ధము. But whereas man, his behavior is completely opposite to this. ఏ చిన్న ఉపకారము, whatever little help he does, ఏ కించిత్ దాన ధర్మము, if he does some charity, small charity also, అది 10 మందికి తెలియవలను. He has to explain it to 10 people. He has to make it known to 10 people. లేక ఏ పేపర్లోనైనా వేయించుకున్నాను, he will publish it in a newspaper. ఇట్టి అభిమానము లేకుండాటే అమానిత్వం. This kind of absence of that kind of abhimana is called amanitva. Sorry. Yeah, that is where we stop. So these 20 virtues are essential for becoming entitled to gnana. Gnana here means Brahma Gnana or Brahma Sakshatkara. We should not take it as a Gnani. Already he is Gnani. Why should he need this? He is entitled to that Brahma Sakshatkara only when he has these 20 virtues.
Swami's giving this example of the water, but I was wondering, how do you reconcile that with, if you were, if somebody throws garbage into the water, or, like if there's something wrong happening, or, shouldn't you try to assert yourself in certain situations? Like you can't always just absorb the color, that.
No. Okay, go ahead.
After you, Andre.
No, Sai Satish, padpa.
Yeah, so sister, I think in this case, Swami is speaking in the context of pride. So usually, now we know that it's gone from the stage of the sadhaka, we are at the stage of jnani, and now the jnani has to attain the ultimate, which is Brahma Jnana. But at that point, the jnani, what has helped him to get to that point itself can become a hindrance to go forward and become one with the absolute. And that is his jnana in terms of the pride of that knowledge that he has gained. So that itself can become an obstacle for further growth. And that's where Swami is saying that humility should be like we say, right? Empty vessels make more noise. So when the pot is full, it's complete in every sense. So in terms of acceptance of what is coming, which can be others' limitations in the thing. So to what you were saying about when somebody does wrong and so on, that is one part in itself. But how a true jnani will react to even that, or instead of saying react, how they respond to that situation will be different. So it will be still at that stage, with all humility and with all love, will be the state of response that comes, rather than I am a jnani, I am telling you, I am at a higher pedestal and I am telling you, and so you should listen. It will be more of a very humble approach in putting them. So that's where even when Swami would say anything, he would say, na abhiprayam lo, in my opinion. He would never say, because I am God, I tell you, you have to do this. That is what tells about how the humility aspect comes in terms of putting forth the thing. And when whatever color you pour into it, it absorbs, it never takes its own color in the sense, in terms of acceptance of others' limitations and so on. While being established in its own state, it's still able to accept others' limitations and still go with it. So literal, instead of literal symbolism of the thing, I would say it is more of the overarching state of when you're in the state of complete jnana, it is more of empathy, love, understanding, and speaking with in that sense, rather than saying I know everything and imposing on others. I would put it in that way.
You said something interesting that like these qualities that may have helped you get to a certain stage at this point, you have to kind of give them up. Is that like maybe you had to assert yourself in some situations, but once you get to this point of a jnani, then actually like you don't, it's almost like it doesn't, the external situations don't even matter. That is that what you're saying, or you have to?
I was saying for the internal journey of the jnani, of course, the external is a reflection of the internal. So I was saying more in the sense of what they have acquired so far in terms of, basically the translation of the bookish knowledge to the practical knowledge. If it is, so like Swami would give this example of a traveler also carrying their food, it becomes a burden if they are carrying their lunch box. But if they sit down during the lunchtime and partake of the lunch and make essence it, then it stops being a burden. So from that point of view, whatever they have gathered, if it just stays at the level of the head, it becomes an obstacle. But if it's essenced at the level of the heart, then no longer from that sense system.
Okay.
Even if somebody throws garbage at you, how do you respond? Are you reacting or you are just responding? That's what here is what Swami says. Your question that, if some garbage is thrown into the water, how can it not resist it? So, of course, all of us, we come across this kind of situation where, some kind of insult is thrown on us. But at that time, how do we behave? As Satish said, with love, with empathy, why that person is behaving like that towards me? What may be the reason? Or am I to be corrected? Am I responsible for that? So if we just think over it, I think a person's, because of his basic humility, that quality he has in him, he may be reacting, responding in a different way. Yes, when insults are thrown upon us, we feel like reacting. But for a person who has cultivated this virtue of amanitvam, maybe his response is different. Sairam.
Auntie, I think Brother Dasan and Sakku Auntie have their hands up. So maybe Brother Dasan.
I cannot see them in my distinct, but Satish, you answer them better.
Yeah, sure. Brother Dasan, you would like to share your thoughts? Yeah.
Yes, Sairam, brother. So I like to add to the point too, because if we take Swami gave a lot of discourse, but still people write about Swami so many things, but it doesn't bother him. Even the water, there's no color. If you put red color, it changes to red. If you put blue, but it is not going to say, hey, I know this is my color. It's not going to fight because it knows. So same thing, Swami knows everything. So he doesn't need to prove anything. This is my point, brother. Thank you, Sairam.
Sairam, brother. Thank you. Sakku Auntie, Bhagawan, if you're speaking on mute, yeah.
Sairam, yeah. Sairam, if you react, that means you have pride. That is ego. When you have ego, right away you want to challenge the person. But if you, as Auntie said, you have to think why that person is saying and everything, and you don't have to, you are not losing anything. You are not losing anything. Even though you think that you are losing your self-pride, no. You will really gain if you really understand the situation and why that person is challenging you. Like how Christ said, if somebody slaps you, give the other cheek. So this is how we have to, if we have to go spiritually higher, we have to become nothing. Thank you.
Sairam, in the present society, if one slaps on the one cheek, if you show the other cheek, then you're really into trouble. The present society will not accept this thing. You have to fight for your right. That is the what we see in the society.
That is, I don't know how you are going to use, because when the water is absorbing whatever colors that they're giving, that means it is taking. No, it's not reacting, not rebelling. So I don't know. That situation, I don't know. This is very difficult when I...
Every day we come across this situation in the schools, when children, one beats the other fellow gives it back, and then he comes home. And how do we teach our children? That is the question. I think Sai Satish can answer this question. He has a small young fellow who is at home, who is going to school. And then I'm sure he will be meeting such friends. And how does he behave in his school? Sai Satish.
Before I come to this answer, I'm seeing Gopal and Uncle also have his hand up. So I'm seeing if Uncle, you have a...
Yes, Sairam.
Yes,
Sairam.
Uncle.
I was thinking about Ramakrishna and his disciples. Remember the incident of Vivekananda was going in a boat, and somebody was accusing Ramakrishna, and Vivekananda got very upset, and he I don't know, he pushed him in the water or something like that.
Yeah, correct.
While another person, one of his devotees, and for that Ramakrishna got upset with him. Why did you do that? The other incident was another disciple who went in the similar boat, and he didn't react. So Ramakrishna, Vivekananda got upset. Why is it you're treating that person that way and treating me this way? So I'm trying to relate this incident. I don't know what. Yeah.
Yes, Uncle. Thanks for sharing. It's absolutely right in terms of what you mentioned, how Ramakrishna Paramahamsa responds to what Narendra at that time, who became Swami Vivekananda later, he reprimands him and says you should control your anger. But when Rakhal, who later on becomes Brahmananda, when he actually is soft, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa reprimands him, saying, when somebody is speaking about your guru, shouldn't you stand up for your guru? Are you just listening to it and then coming back? Exactly. So I think later on Ramakrishna Paramahamsa explains that in the temperament of Narendra, he is more prone to anger and he need to be softened up on that. And that is why he instructed him in this way. Whereas for Rakhal, he was in general very soft person. And so the master had to work on him becoming a little more strong and bold. So definitely in terms of how, it's like no one shoe fits all kind of a thing. It's a unique thing that is tailored.
You're damaging.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, absolutely. And coming back to the earlier discussion, it is to what extent we hold on to, like when we say one cheek and the other cheek. I'll just share an incident here very quickly. This was an incident where one of these persons, he had lost his wife and he had two young children. And during one of the interviews, when Swami had told this person for his younger child, there was a small uh, like the scar which was trying to cover the eye partly. And Swami said, when he asked Swami, this is affecting the child, Swami said, Potundle, it'll go. Don't worry. And this was before Swami's, before Swami left his mortal coil. Of course, that interview, everything happened. And then few years later, when this boy was growing up, he was growing up in the primary school. And slowly, as he was growing up, the scar also started growing along with his thing. And slowly it started obstructing his vision. And Swami said that it'll go on his own. So this person was not doing anything. He said, Swami will take care. He said he will do, he'll take care. But then it started covering so much so that it looked like the child could lose the vision. So when the parents' meeting would happen and he would go to meet the child, I think Headmiss Auntie called initially this person and said, what is this? You know that this child is having, your child is having this problem. They should be taken and operated upon. He said, no, Auntie, Swami told it'll go on its own. Then first time Auntie kept silent. Next time onwards, it started becoming more aggressive. So next time when he again came, he said, no, you have to take your child and get them operated. Please understand, it is very, very important. But then he said, Swami said, so I will not, it will go away on its own. Then it became very difficult for him, so much so that when he would go to Patti, he would just see his child in the lines, because he knows if he goes to school and others around him started telling him, you have to get your child operated. What are you doing? Like, so this person shared it with me. That's why I'm telling, like, it was a very personal incident. And then it goes to a point where everybody around him thinks that he's not a good parent because the child is going to lose the vision. It's literally the last few, maybe the child will lose a vision in the next few days or weeks. And then all of a sudden, from nowhere, it reversed and the whole thing vanished off in a few weeks' time. So if we look at it from a human point of view, we can, on one aspect, we can say it is this person's like complete faith and surrender. And when Swami takes a person through that phase, he can really take you to the end where you're tested from all sides. His whole family was thinking that he has really gone nuts. Everybody thought that he has gone nuts because he's not taking care of his own child. And then all of a sudden, the whole thing, and the child is now having a perfect vision. Everything is fine. The scar, that thing which was obstructing on its own, just fell off. So now we can analyze this whole incident from different points of view. So to what extent do we give value to that Swami's words and stick to it will decide the outcome that comes of it as well. So I know from our repetition, in general, what happens when we go out into the thing is we are met with hostility. So we feel that we have to somewhere be defensive, if not offensive, at least defensive. To what extent? But then again, it's a question to each one of us that we have to answer. To what extent can we go so that we can live up to it? It's our stamina level in spirituality. To what stamina can we really pull this through? And Swami, like once we put one step, Swami is going to, okay, let me test you. Now you have done the assignment. First assignment has come very good. You have done well. I'm going to give you the second assignment. Then you do second assignment. I'm going to give you a third assignment. And then I'm going to give you a next. So the Swami is also going to say, okay, you have got possibly of these 20 qualities, you have started getting 1-2 of the qualities. I will now give you my test. Can you pass through this test, right? It's literally that. So I would say it just comes down to how much can we walk that to get it. And since this happened to the person who narrated this to me a couple of years ago, in Parthi, I thought it gains relevance in this angle as to where we implement and how much we hold on to Swami's thing and say, no, Swami, it is your word, you have said it, so we will be fine. So it comes down to how much we hold on to that part as well. Saina. Sister Narmata, I see your hand. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. That's a beautiful story, brother. I just wanted to add something because I look at this paragraph in a bit more differently when I read this. Because Swami says here, the water takes whatever color you pour into it. It doesn't exert its color because just like its view or its vision, right? If you put blue, it doesn't turn it show its own color, their color, kind of like that. And then towards the end of the paragraph, Swami says, but man is different, right? We do the smallest things, but we want to boast. I did this, I did that. So I see it this way. It's not like the negative things that water is absorbing and not showing showing the left cheek or right cheek. I see it as the water is absorbing everything, but it's not showing, say, hey, I got this, so I received this, so I have this. It's not boasting. It's just remaining calm, taking in or absorbing everything. Whereas man, we do the smallest thing that we want the whole world to know, I did this, so I did that. So that's how I saw it. I just wanted to share that. I don't know if that is right. Instead of absorbing all the negative quality and not speaking back, it's just that anything that you pour in or anything that it has, it's not boasting. That's how I saw it.
Yeah. And to add to that, sister, I get what you're saying as well. I think water is by itself life-sustaining and nourishing. So though it is of the greatest value to man or any living being, it never boasts about what it does as water. It just goes with being water and being the life-sustaining element for everybody without proclaiming it. And Swami would also say this. That is where he would say, even in his discourses, in Puttaparthi, I never make any advertisements. I don't make any announcements. People come on their own. There was no invitation card given to you for coming to each of the. Swami would say in the discourse. So it's more like just being that humble self, doing the work that the person needs to do. And others will come to know of what is being done sheerly by the value of what is coming out of it rather than they proclaiming it. I completely agree with what, yeah. Thank you.
I see Brother Siva's.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Shiva's, Brother Shiva's hand is up. Brother Shiva. Oh, Arna. Yeah, Anna, your hand is
Sairam, everyone. I think I also agree with Narmada's point. The thing is, water absorbing means it is so vast. Any small thing will disappear actually into it. It does not have to do anything, and it doesn't have to talk about it also. And that's the sense I also understood. Because the jnani is so vast that nothing will taint the jnani. At the same time, he will not boast about it or anything, saying, I have absorbed this. He will not be affected the least by that absorption. And he does not have to even enforce, assert his position or his view. I think which Sai Satish has already spoken about. Lord Swami saying, in my opinion, that's the way Swami talks. Even though he knows it all, he knows everything. So that's the sense I also got. Thank you very much, Sai.
So Swami is speaking more about this absence of pride in a person. That is the point. Narmada, you looked at it in a very nice way. Yeah, we were all thinking in other ways, but your point is very good. That one should not get affected by anything which is thrown on him. The one who has got that humility and that pridelessness, the amanitvam, he will never feel that he is insulted or he is praised. For both, he will remain in the same way. Saira.
So just to clarify, so it's still okay for us to set boundaries with people or in our workplace or with our children. I mean, I feel like otherwise, if you just allow people to take from you what they want, it's almost.
So sister, actually, I forget for Auntie, you should be able. Was it Dattatreya or which I'm forgetting, or Dakshinamurti? I'm saying he had 21 or more gurus, and Ocean was the guru as well.
Dattatreya.
No? Yeah.
Dattatreya has 21 gurus.
Yeah, yes, Auntie. So in the context of the ocean, I think Swami narrates this story where I think Dattatreya asked the ocean, even if a small leaf or a blade of grass is thrown into the ocean.
That is Dakshinamurti story.
Dakshinamurti, Auntie. Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm mixing up. Sorry. Thanks for
the story is about Dakshinamurti, but Dattatreya learned from 21 gurus. That's a fact. Here the story is about Dakshinamurti. When he sees that blade of grass, how do you throw it back? And the ocean says, I'm pure always. I'm pure. Exactly. I don't want any this thing to be mixed with the water.
Yes, Auntie. Thank you for that. So sister, so the thing is, when Dakshinamurti asks the ocean, why are you throwing it away even as it's a blade of grass? You're such a huge ocean. Why can't you accept even a small blemish? He says, no, if I start accepting it, then there is no end to it. So I would see it as the stage we are in. So if I'm in a stage where I have to constantly make that effort of rejecting the good, rejecting the bad and accepting only the good, then I'm still in the developing stage, right? So it is like if I'm at the level of a pond or a lake, I continuously reject the bad, accept only the good. But when I grow to the level of becoming the ocean, I am now, or this example that Swami gives with the sapling. When the sapling is small, you need to have the fence around it. And then when the sapling grows into a huge tree, you can even bind a huge elephant with the same to the tree and nothing will happen. It will give, in fact, shade to all other beasts, which initially could just trample upon it or eat it away or things like that. So I think the stage that I would see initially when we are in the sadhaka stage of arti, artati, or jignasa, that kind of a stage, it's more like at every step we have caution. We keep rejecting the bad, accepting only the good. But when we grow out to being the ocean, where we have gone to that level of a jnani and so on, close to that stage of Brahmajnana, then I think anything that is thrown we can accept because we know that we are the ocean and nothing but that. So it's the stage that we are in which will define our response as well.
Exactly. Very good. Very good. Okay, I think it's 4:30. Shall we close?
Yes, Auntie.
Okay.
There now.
Yeah, Kalyani, please go ahead.
Auntie, can you close, please?
What's the thing we do?
Just Om Shanti, I think.
Om Shanti. Now, Arun.
Swasti Prajabhya.
Nala, Adila. He.
Om Samasta Loka
Sukhino Bhavantu.
Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Sai Ram, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for joining, Arun, from there. Okay. Sai Ram. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.